kayaking. One real-life friend was like, hey, I've never really understood all the jobs that you do. If you want, you could explain it to me, and then maybe in that process we could look at your work-life balance and see if it's balanced. It wasn't. And other communities that are really important to me reached out as well, especially the AFC Wimbledon community. Like, one of the club's co-founders messaged me and said, look, when I've struggled with depression in the past, I really, like, existentially needed something to look forward to. So I put our new away kit in the mail.
It's Healthy Mental Thursday, so you know we trying to find the cure. Just in case you missed it, you know the topic for today. So we finding the cure. We just going through typing in find the cure for whatever, depression, anxiety, whatever you feeling at the moment.
To you, but it's going to take some time to get there, so you'll just have to wait for it. By the way, we got a new logo on the back of AFC Wimbledon's shorts in the liminal space between left thigh and buttock. It was made by nerdfighter Jen Koch, and it's based on space mission patches, and I love it. I care about and be encouraged by the friendships. Helping helps. It helps to engage with the issues I care about and be another thing that helps, helping helps. It helps to engage with the issues I care about and be encouraged by the friendships and connections that emerge from that work. Like right now, our friend in Sierra Leone, Henry Ryder, is trying to build a well in Freetown to address the water crisis there, and how awesome is that? So I donated to that and promised to help share it. By the way, link in the doobly-doo. And that helps, just like my work on TB has been a great source of solace and connection this past month. But probably what helped the most was meeting with my therapist and my psychiatrist. My psychiatrist was like, I think we need to shift your understanding of yourself and how it's informed by toxic online spaces, and nobody had ever quite said that to me before, but I needed to hear it. Some of the online spaces I engage in are pretty toxic. Yeah. When I swim all day in that water and I get out and I wonder why I feel sick, it's a little bit like the Olympians swimming in the Seine. Like, I think I might know why you get sick. Anyway, he was like, what are your core beliefs about humans? Like, really deep down, what's your core belief about yourself and other people? And I said what I think is true, which is that we are here to love and be loved, and the one thing we all deserve is to love and be loved. Yeah. And he was like, well, you're sure not acting like that's your core belief about yourself. He says, when you talk to me, it sounds like your core belief about yourself is that you're kind of worthless, that you're sort of a piece of crap, and every piece of information you pick up on the internet that tells you you're a piece of crap, you think is true because it confirms.
I'm going back to meditation daily because this is what I did in my meditation. And you know what I think has been my propellant this entire time? It has to be. Because I've been coasting off of the stuff I've spoken into my spirit and into my body in that meditative time. Because, wow, I've been kicking my ass. I've been kicking my own ass.
Your core belief. I really did believe that I was worthless. I think I said it in that last video I made. I believed that I was a piece of crap, which is a very strange thing to believe when human consciousness itself is so rare and precious and wonderful. Yes. So I've been working really hard on that, to embrace my belief that every human being, including me, deserves love and compassion and to be welcomed into the human fold with generosity and empathy. To me, the most important thing is that I'm not a piece of crap, and neither is anyone watching this. We're all human, flawed and constantly failing ourselves and others, but still worthy of love and compassion. I'm trying to make that my foundational belief these days. Hank, I'll see you on Friday.
That's my man's. All right, now let's see if we can get one more in here real quick. I know I got a way we can do this. Quotes to help depression. I should have put affirmations. I'm gonna put on some. Hold on, wait. Let's see what.
Imagine that because you don't have a mate and you don't have any friends and you don't have a job and you don't do anything productive with your time, etc., that you're kind of a loser. And what does that mean? It means compared to other people, you're not doing very well. Hyper-competent people have their lives together on all those fronts and they're thriving in all those domains. And you are at the bottom of the hierarchy where everything has fallen apart and you're barely clinging to the edge of the world. There's a mechanism that sets your perceived security and utility, a marker for that. The lower you are in the hierarchy, which is the more unstable your life is, the less serotonin your brain produces, and that makes you hypersensitive to negative emotion. and suppresses positive emotion. And so true depression, which isn't having a terrible life, true depression would be a mismatch between your actual competence and your self-perceived competence. Imagine that because you don't have a mate and you don't have any friends and you don't have a job and you don't do anything productive with your time, etc., that you're kind of a loser. And what does that mean? It means compared to other people.
Hold up. Let's check this out real quick and then we can go for it. Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. Sorry, I was listening to it in the background. Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. I thought I just muted this. Thank you. I'm your host, Dan F. Man. Glad to be in here for another day. Let me fix this box over here for y'all that are watching. Let me fix all of my boxes. Let me get this up out of here. Let me put my logo back in there. Oh, I don't see it in here. It's somewhere. All right, anyway, so today we are reaching our potential. That is what we are doing today. Don't mind the black screen, y'all. I'm just putting everything back together. I was playing the game a couple seconds ago, and that's how I warm up for the show. So, yeah, y'all forgive me for that. All right, so like I was saying, today we are reaching our full potential. Did I put full in the title? I don't know, but we reaching our potential today. So let's get our motivation in for the day. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer, and then we'll go for there. Motivation for persistence. Let's see what we got. I'm gonna have to start picking the longer ones and then just kind of listening to it for up until a certain stopping point. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. And I gotta make sure y'all can hear it. Hey, if y'all out
persistence.
There, you can hear this. Make sure y'all let me know you can hear. If you can hear or not.
Persistence. Nothing can take the place of it. There's no substitute. There's no replacement for it. Persistence. It's a word that holds so much power. Persistence. To set a goal. To have a dream. And to not stop until you achieve what you want. Persistence is a quality of winners. I believe it's within all of us. And if it's within all of us, it must be within you. Nothing great can be achieved without persistence, because nothing great comes to those who quit when things get hard. The will to persist through challenges, the strength to persevere in hard times, that is what will carry you from the bottom to the top, from no way to finding a way. Not many people have persistence, and that is why not many people have the life they want. These days, most people are looking for a shortcut, the new secret sauce, the next get-rich-quick scheme, or the next super secret ingredient. But truth be told, the secret is to get started, keep going, and never stop. Not through success, and absolutely never through failure or challenges. That is exactly when you must persist.
We all want fast success, but greatness, it takes time. You can't rush greatness. You have to put in the time. If you're not willing to put in the time, you don't deserve the rewards. If you are willing to go the distance, if you are willing to keep working, if you're willing to keep improving, and you keep moving forward, you will eventually get your rewards.
Yes,
it is really that simple. Set your targets and keep moving forward. Just don't ever stop.
Read the stories of any great entrepreneur, inventor, sports person. They all have one thing in common: persistence. They stayed in the game longer than their competitors. They refused to accept temporary defeat as permanent failure. They kept going, no matter what. And in the end, they got their rewards.
Life, it's a journey, a beautiful journey, but a tough journey. It can be heaven or it can be hell. And a lot of people would claim it as hell. If you're one of those people, you can climb out of that hell. And the first place to start is by changing your own mentality. That might not be what you want to hear, but it is the only thing that is going to give you a greater quality life. When you have strong goals, and your mentality is strong. You can face more. You can take more. You will persist more. And because of all of that,
what's
you
good,
will
my
win
people,
more
my
and enjoy
people,
life
my
more.
people.
Never stop moving
Good to see you,
forward.
Zanita
Never.
67.
Obstacles, challenges, temporary.
Good to see you, Zanita 67. Thank you for always stopping through and being a loyal subscriber and viewer. I hope that you have grown and found your root. I see you be growing stuff all the time, and you starting your garden. Great job.
Defeat, whatever comes, keep going. Know that the only way to fail is to quit. Persist, and eventually you will win. Do not stop. Do not give up. Commit to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Will the journey be difficult? Yes. Will you stop? No.
No.
Will you feel like quitting?
Yes.
But will you quit?
No.
No. No. You won't quit if your goals mean something to you. So make goals so powerful that it makes it impossible for you to give up. Goals so powerful when the world is against you. Friends are against you. Even you might be against you. You will dig deep and persist through anything. You don't need talent. You don't need to be the best. You don't need to be the smartest. You might even start at a disadvantage. But if you are so committed to your goals that you will persist through anything, I guarantee you, eventually, one day you will come out on top. And yes, it will be worth it if you persist. Something will give. If you persist, things will eventually go your way. Most people don't go the distance. You have to be willing to go the distance.
It may take you years to get where you want to go. Most people are not committed for years. They're barely committed for 5 minutes. I don't know about you, but I think it's better to trade a few years of struggle for a lifetime of pride.
Set your goals. Get going and do not stop. You say you want it. You have to put in the long hours. You have to put in the overtime. Go the extra mile, the extra step, the late nights, the sleepless nights, the hard times, the impossible times. Those are the tests sent for you to prove you deserve this.
Life is going to test you. It's going to throw everything your way. I think these are the things
You are
sent to
so
see if you
welcome.
really want
You are
what
so
you say
welcome.
you want.
Thank
Not
you.
everybody is willing to give it their all to get what they want. The majority will quit at any sign of resistance.
You have to be in the uncommon group of people that know what they want and will not stop until they get it. What can stop the unstoppable? Tell me, what can stop the unstoppable? Nothing. Create an unstoppable version of you. A life so meaningful. Goals so powerful. You cannot and will not be stopped.
Yes, sir.
Not every day will go well. Not everything you try will work. You won't always knock it out the park. And you'll probably fail more times than you succeed. But what would happen if you set your goals and targets and just didn't ever stop moving forward, moving towards them? Just think about what you could achieve if you always made that extra effort, sent that extra email, put in the extra work, worked overtime, did an extra set, an extra rep, the extra mile. How good would your life be now if you decided 10 years ago to always do extra?
Yes, right, exactly.
No point crying about that now, but don't look back in another 10 years and wish you did
Yes, sir.
extra.
Yes, sir.
Don't look back in 1 year and wish you persisted through challenges. Set your goals now and write a commitment to yourself. I will persist until I get this goal. I will
Yes,
not
sir.
stop under any circumstances until I find a way to make my goal my reality.
That's my man's.
Yes,
Run it up.
there are people that may be more talented than you. People that have more money, more opportunity, more support, more help, more ability, more everything. But persistence will be your equalizer, your secret weapon. You have it within you. You are special, and you have it within. Keep moving forward.
Yes, sir. All right. So it was important to see persistence, a message on persistence. That is very vital right now. Because if you stop, where will you get to? Nowhere. Be a mannequin. Look, watch. I'm going to stop. All right, now I'm moving again. You see what I'm saying? So that's perfect for us to see what our potential is and fully realize it, or at least begin to realize what our potential is. Once you realize what your potential is, what they say on G.I. Joe, knowing is half the battle. Is that what they say? All right. Anyway, what is potential? I ain't even put is. I just put what potential. I want to look at whatever they give us too.
Now you only need one subscription instead of multiple AI tools. One of my secret weapons is...
What is an electric potential? Do you know? Can you explain it clearly? No? Then this video is... I noticed that high school students often struggle with the notion of electric potential. So I developed a way of explaining it that speaks to them. In this video, I will take the same approach I do with my own students. First, we will define the notion of gravitational potential. Then we will use this concept to understand what an electric potential is and extend it to the idea of potential difference and voltage. Imagine a box of 2 kilograms on the ground next to a staircase. You now place the box on a step of the staircase located at a height of 2 meters. To bring it to this position from the ground, you needed to provide 2 by 10 by 2, 40 joules of energy. Because you transferred energy to the box has now a gravitational potential energy of 40 joules. Imagine now that you decide instead to place the box 3 meters above the ground. By doing the same calculations, you realize that the box has now 60 joules of potential energy. The potential energy of the box is directly proportional to the height it is located at. This is why we say that the potential energy is an energy of position. You could actually label each step of the stairs with the energy that the box would have if you placed it there. But what if you wanted to move a box of different mass? How should you label the steps? Just consider a box of 1 kilogram when you do the calculations for the potential energy for each step, and then label the steps with the result.
What's the result, right?
To find the energy of a box of mass m placed on a given step, you just multiply the mass of the box by the value assigned to the step. For example, for a step at 2 meters, therefore assigned with a value of 20 joules for 1 kilogram, you can calculate the energy of a box of 3 kilograms that you would place there. It would be 20 by 3 is 60 joules. The quantity we use to label the steps is called a potential. In that case, it is the gravitational potential.
Let me pause here, because I see where he was going anyway. And the only reason I pause is because, so with each step, the gravitational potential increases. And the only reason why we're using the word potential is because it's a replacement for the word if I drop this from this height, this how hard it's gonna hit.
And it is expressed in joules per kilogram.
Ding, ding.
The gravitational potential at a given position is the potential energy that would hold 1 kilogram of mass placed at that position. What you see with this example is that a potential is a property related to a position. It is not related to an object. The notion of electric potential is very similar. The only difference is that it is the electric charge of a body that is considered instead of its mass. An electric potential at a given position is the potential energy that would hold 1 coulomb of charge placed at that position. Imagine a positive charge, big Q, of 5 coulomb located somewhere in space. I want to bring another positive charge, little q, of 2 coulomb close to it. For that, I need to push the charge little q, because there is a repulsion between the two charges. Yes, they have the same sign. By doing so, I'm kind of doing like I did with the box. I'm applying a force that will change the position of charge little q, therefore giving it potential energy.
Right, to go back the
And this
other way.
time it would be electrical potential energy. We could draw a graph that represents this energy depending on the position of little q, a little like we did when we labeled the steps of the stairs.
I hope y'all are getting this. It always makes me feel so good when I understand stuff. Appreciate you for the follow. I didn't see who it was out there on TikTok, but appreciate you for the follow. I always feel good when I understand stuff. So he's relating the spacing between two electrons of the same charge and their position with the weight of a box on the steps and its position.
The value on the y-axis would be the electric potential energy of the charge little q. Now, if I want to calculate the potential energy that would have a body carrying any charge, I can just draw the same graph, but this time for a charge little q of 1 coulomb. On the y-axis, I have now the electric potential in joules per coulomb. To calculate the energy of any charge at a given position, I just multiply the value read on the graph for that position by the charge. The unit of the electrical potential is joules per coulomb. Yes, joules per coulomb. The definition of what it is in the units. It's the number of joules that would have 1 coulomb if you placed it at a given position, making an electrical potential a property of a position.
Okay, like he said again, electrical potential is the same as the gravitational potential of the box on the steps. Now, I hope I ain't talking in too many big words and too many big terms and thought forms, because you got to use your mind to visualize this. Now, the electrical potential is the same as the gravitational potential of the box on the steps. It's a function of position rather than just charge.
Okay, let's look at a practical understanding now. I read here on this battery that it has a voltage of 9 volts. Let's see what this means. Again here we are going to use gravity to illustrate. Imagine that you have an object at a height of 2 meters, you drop it and let it land on a table which is 0.5 meters high. That means that it goes from point A, which has a potential GH equals 10 by 2, 20 joules per kilogram, to a point B of gravitational potential, GH is 10 by 0.5, 5 joules per kilogram.
Yes, y'all getting a physics lesson.
This means that each 1 kilogram of the object has lost 20 minus 5, that is 15 joules of gravitational potential energy when falling from A to B. We say that there is a gravitational potential difference of 15 joules per kilogram between A and B. Oh, and note how the fall of the ball occurs naturally. Yeah, nature's actions are always aimed at minimizing potential energy. Okay, so now let's look at the 9 volt battery. 9 volts here refer to a potential difference of 9 joules per coulomb. This means that on the positive side of the battery, 1 coulomb of charge located there has 9 extra joules of potential energy than the charges located on the minus side.
Hold on, run it back.
Joules of this side of the battery, 1 coulomb of charge located there has 9 extra positives refer to a potential difference of 9 joules per coulomb. This means that on the positive side of the battery, 1 coulomb of charge located there has 9 extra joules of potential energy than the charges located on the minus side.
Right, okay.
This potential difference is called the voltage of the battery. On the plus side of the battery, positive charges are stacked together.
Yes, sir.
In the batteries that you can buy in shops, it is a chemical reaction that provides the energy to stack the charges together like this. Okay, so let's say that the plus side has an electric potential of 9 volts. This means that 1 coulomb of charge present at this position holds 9 joules of energy. If you connect the plus and the minus of the battery using a conducting material, the charges will fall to a position of low potential, like the ball did.
Wow!
And the point of lowest potential
go in.
is the other side of the battery, where you have 1 coulomb of charge holding 0 joules, an electric potential of 0 volts. And again, nature attempts to minimize potential energy by letting the positive charge flow to a point of lower potential. And this is how you get an electric current.
Yes, sir. Look at my boy done taught me. Man, I'm 35. That man done taught me something that I should have known long ago. Hold on, I'm going to read this. The voltage VAB in volts. Hold on, let me go back. We going to get the whole lesson. We ain't skipping that. A voltage is a difference of electrical potential between two positions. The voltage VAB in volts is the difference of energy in joules that holds 1 coulomb of charge at B compared to at A. Consequently, hold on, wait, don't skip me. Consequently, the voltage VAB can also be defined as the work required to bring a charge of 1 coulomb from A to B. I'm not breaking that down.
In the end, you see that the notion of electric potential is actually quite simple. Just need to get used to it. It is just a number of joules that would hold 1 coulomb of charge when placed at a given position. And the voltage is just a difference of electric potentials between two positions.
Positions, right.
If these two positions are connected, then naturally the charges would flow from one position to the other in order to lose potential energy. Like the ball falls to lower height when it is dropped. Did you find this video useful?
I did.
Yeah?
I'm adding it to our stuff, our bag of facts that we got over here. So now I'm going to say this. When we run into these topics, or we run into these videos on Expansion Pack, we not trying to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? And sorry to anybody who feel that dumb is a thing to be. But we ain't trying to be that here. We trying to absorb as much of it, even if it's mysterious, unknown to us, that we can, so that we can have something to pull from when we need references to things that we don't know. It's like, all right, I got this bag of puzzle pieces, and they all fit this puzzle. All right? I just don't know where they go. That's what we doing. At least when we find the spot that it goes, maybe we working the edges right now, and we got all of the inside pieces in our bag. But when we see a spot where those inside pieces line up, we put it in there. So that's what we doing when we run into videos like this. Now, I do know a lot of physics information, but I'm still working out the thought side of everything. I'm really practical, hands-on, seeing it actually working. And when you have to do the thought side of things, I think it kind of make it muddy for everybody. Like, imagine a pendulum swinging from 3 meters by 5 meters. Dog, you lost me at pendulum because I'm trying to see what a pendulum is and visualize So I get it, but we exercising that, and we're making it better, and we're not staying where we're at. That's why we finding out what potential is, and we using them. All right, let's keep it rolling, keep it moving. All right, so back to our topic at hand. Now, I brought up a pendulum on purpose just to show you I want to show what it is to not only just persist, but to have a constant amount of potential energy to use to fuel your persistence. All right. So how does a pendulum work? How is a pendulum made? I think that's gonna be better. How a giant oh man, that's cool. I don't want to see a long video though. Let's see.
Step into Wix Studio and handle every part of your build from one platform.
Don't worry, I'm always going somewhere with this.
Hi, I'm going to show you some clips of motions, and can you tell me what is common to all the motions shown here?
They go on forever. They're going to keep going until you stop them?
That's right. These are all examples of periodic motion. Periodic motion is a motion that repeats itself at regular intervals of time. Another example of periodic motion is the simple pendulum. The simple pendulum is like a swing. Its motion is periodic in nature. The simple pendulum's motion is also called oscillatory motion since it moves to and fro. A simple pendulum is made from a small metal ball called a bob, and it is suspended by a long thread from a rigid support. We can pull the bob and make it swing to and fro like this. The famous scientist Galileo discovered an important principle of the pendulum. He discovered that a pendulum completes every swing in exactly the same time. A to and fro swing of the pendulum is called an oscillation. Now, what is one complete oscillation? If you start the pendulum from one extreme position, so when it swings and comes back to the same extreme position, it is called one complete oscillation. Or if you start the pendulum from the center position, then the pendulum goes to one extreme position and then it swings back and goes to the other extreme, and now it must come back to the center again. That is again one complete oscillation. So whichever way you measure it, from whichever position, that's a complete oscillation. Now the time taken for one complete oscillation is called the time period. Let's say the pendulum took 2 seconds to complete the oscillation. Then the time period is going to be 2 seconds. Remember, the time period is the time taken for one complete oscillation of the pendulum. Frequency is defined as the number of oscillations in 1 second. Frequency and time period are reverse of each other. So frequency is the reciprocal of the time period. So what's the formula going to be?
I need to have my notebook out.
Frequency f is 1 by t. T is the time period. Or we can write time period t is 1 by f, the frequency. Now what is the frequency for pendulum where the time period was 2 seconds? That's right. If you take the reciprocal, the answer is going to be half
of it.
or 0.5, because it is completing half an oscillation in 1 second. The unit of frequency is second inverse or hertz. So the frequency of our pendulum is written as half hertz or 0.5 hertz.
And you see how we end up back on hertz, which is a form of electrical.
Let's say a pendulum completes 10 oscillations in 2 seconds. Can you find its time period and frequency?
Yes, I can.
10 oscillations
but I don't
takes
feel like
2 seconds. So the time for one oscillation is 2 divided by 10, which is 0.2 seconds. Frequency, as we learnt, is the reciprocal of the time period. So the frequency is going to be 1 divided by 0.2, which if you calculate, it's 5 hertz. You can also directly calculate the frequency. In 2 seconds, there are 10 oscillations. So in 1 second, the number of oscillations is 10 by 2, which is 5. So the frequency once again is 5 hertz. Hope the concept of time period and frequency of the simple pendulum is crystal clear to you now.
All right. So now, let me bring this home for y'all before we go down the rabbit hole any further. All right? Check it out. We all know that our life goes in rhythms and patterns and ebbs and flows. Okay? Now, the only thing we have to really control this ebb and flow and these patterns is our potential. It's kind of like that shove off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sitting around one day and you like, hey, what do I want to do? And boom, you get that inspiration and you go do it. That's the shove off. Like, you dove into, or you in the pool, you get close to the wall and you push off. What I'm saying here right now is relate your life. Let me bring it home. Let me put you on the big screen. Relate your patterns in your life to the pendulum, and you may be. Okay, I'll break it down to you then. Relate the patterns in your life to the pendulum swing. Dang, phone. Which end of the pendulum are you on at this current moment? Because we've learned this all throughout Expansion Pack. You can only be in that present moment. But to observe that present moment brings you to another moment in which you can find out which end of that pendulum you are on. Now, I've been thinking about this thing for a while, and I've been looking at frequency, and I actually compared it to a wave. And when I say wave, the only image that comes to mind is a wave of the ocean. But a wave of an ocean that you would surf on, and if you imagine a surfer going through and surfing on waves, it crashes. And you have to go, and the surfer, after they done, has to go out and find another wave. They rode it all the way out, and they go back and they find another wave. What I want to look at this thing in our life as is a pendulum now. And I'm glad I'm able to give myself that, because I don't want to crash. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to crash out. So the pendulum is going to go up this way, and it's going to come down this way. And it's going to go up this way, and it's going to go down this way. And there's virtually no crashing. There's no sense of a true up and down other than the use of the potential energy, and then back to gathering more potential energy. The use of the potential energy, and back to gathering more potential energy, as opposed to, yeah, I'm out here, I'm on the wave. Oh, we doing it, we riding the wave. Psh, crash. So my frequency now is in terms of a pendulum swing, whereas I'm only using my potential energy through the course of my day, or I'm gathering potential energy through the course of my day, and my orientation is towards my goal. Anyway, hey, they call that yapping, what I just did, by the way. I hate y'all. Anyway, let's go. Let's move on. Using the potential of my life. Watch it all come home. If you can stick it out with me for 37 minutes and 27 seconds, you will slide into home base, man. Okay, so let's rock.
I built my dream life, but I used AI to help me get there. Try Motion. It's a personal assistant.
This video was made possible by Wondrium. Click the link in the description
Everything I
to
said
get
made
your free
sense too.
trial.
Most
Most people are afraid to fully be themselves. They're afraid to embrace the parts of themselves that might be regarded as unacceptable, because embracing these unacceptable parts makes them feel uncomfortable. So to escape this uncomfortableness, they divide themselves into two halves, conscious and unconscious. In the conscious half, they construct an ideal image of themselves, an image formed out of the bits and pieces of their past that they deem as good and acceptable. And as a result, in the unconscious half, they repress the parts of themselves that they view as bad and unacceptable. In Jungian psychology, this repressed part of the personality is called the shadow. And unless the shadow is integrated into the personality, a person can never reach their fullest potential. Instead, one will always remain incomplete, fractured, and partial.
Wait, I'm sorry, y'all. We coming up on our last half hour. I'm running this back.
This video was made possible by Wondrium. Click the link in the description to get your free trial.
Saving this.
Most people are afraid to fully be themselves. They're afraid to embrace the parts of themselves that might be regarded as unacceptable, because embracing these unacceptable parts makes them feel uncomfortable. So to escape this uncomfortableness, they divide themselves into two halves, conscious and unconscious. In the conscious half, they construct an ideal image of themselves, an image formed out of the bits and pieces of their past that they deem as good and acceptable. And as a result, in the unconscious half, they repress the parts of themselves that they view as bad and unacceptable. In Jungian psychology, this repressed part of the personality is called the shadow. And unless the shadow is integrated into the personality, a person can never reach their fullest potential. Instead, one will always remain incomplete, fractured, and partial, living a life of regret rather than the full life that could have been. Imagine, for example, that I've solved a few equations and convinced myself that I'm a great mathematician. I might meet a few friends and they tell me that they have a math club. They gather every weekend and try to have a crack at math's most difficult problems. This scares me because if I join, I'll no longer get to be the great mathematician that I've convinced myself I am. Instead, I'll be a concrete person with actual strengths and weaknesses. And in this scenario, there are two possible actions I can take. The first action is to run from my shadow and let it grow. I refuse to join the math club and realize my own weaknesses as a mathematician. I get to cling to the ideal image of myself as a great mathematician, but as a result, I lose the opportunity to actually become one. The second action is to come into contact with my shadow and integrate it. I join the math club and realize that I'm not the great mathematician that I thought I was. In the short term, this hurts. I discover that I'm not very good at geometry, but also that I excel in differential equations. I become measured with my colleagues. I have an actual place and rank among other mathematicians. In reality, I realize I'm not the great mathematician I thought I was, but now I open up the possibility of actually becoming one. I can actually improve my skills and rank. In the long run, this ends up being the best decision I've ever made. See, in a way, we often prefer to be pure potential. We convince ourselves we could be whatever we want to be, but don't actively work to actually be something. We just comfort ourselves with the idea that we could be something if we wanted to. This is because when we work towards something, we start feeling our weight in the world. We're measured and ranked. We're quantified and actual. And this actual reality is often less pleasurable to live in than our ideal fantasy. But it's real, not a fantasy. And reality can be improved. But a life of fantasy always ends in tragedy. The path to self-improvement starts with self-acceptance. Only by embracing and integrating our shadow, by accepting the ugly parts of ourselves, by becoming who we're afraid to be, can we reach our fullest potential. But if we reject our shadow, if we pick and choose the parts of our past, personality, and behavior that we like, and repress the parts of ourselves we fear, we become incomplete and partial. And instead of living a full, whole life, we live one full of regrets. But it's up to you to decide. In Jungian terms, will you embrace your shadow or reject it? Would you rather fail in actuality or succeed in mere hypotheticals? And if you're interested in accessing more insights from great thinkers,
that actually, hold on, let's see if the rest of this is
I highly recommend checking out this week.
Now that brought it home, right? That should have brought it home. In the sense of you can still reach those heights that you want to reach for yourself. You just got to go back into your bag, into yourself, whatever you want to call it, and unlock some of those doors. You don't have to invite nobody else in there with you. Just you have to go in there, and you have to reach in there. It could be something as simple as wanting to plant flowers outside. You have to go in there, and you got to find that. You have to pull that out. That's your potential right there. And it probably is glittering gold right now. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. It has a great electric potential right now. It's juicing you up. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go back one more time and dig that out just a little bit further. I got 3 minutes.
So why do I start things and never finish them?
It's all due to something called law of sustainment. In psychology,
you don't need 21 days to fix your life. Not 90, not even 7. You need one day, one decision, one moment where you stop lying to yourself and finally do what needs to be done. Because the truth is, you don't need more time. You need more truth. And today I'm going to give you something no one else will. A 24-hour system to reset your mind, your energy, and your direction.
All right, let's go.
This isn't motivation. This is war. Let's fix you today. Step 1, radical self-confinement. Pick one day, turn off your phone. No internet, no social media, no scrolling, no texting, no distractions, just you and your mind. Why? Because most people aren't broken. They're overstimulated. Their brain has no space to think, no space to reflect, no room to breathe. We're drowning in noise. And the fastest way to find clarity is to go silent. If you can't spend one day alone with your own thoughts, you're not avoiding boredom, you're avoiding truth. Step 2, the mirror ritual. Now comes the part nobody talks about. Stand in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes. No music, no affirmations, just 5 minutes of stillness. And ask one question. Who am I pretending to be? That's it. But ask it for real. You'll feel it. That sting in your chest, that's your real self waking up because you've been performing for the world. And deep down, you know it. This is the day you stop being fake.
Go.
This is the day you get honest.
Let's go.
Step 3, destroy to rebuild. Grab a notebook. Write down 3 things. The habits that are killing your potential, the places that drain your power, the lies you tell to be accepted. And now tear the page, burn it, rip it, shred it. Why? Because writing is awareness. But destroying it, that's a message to your subconscious. You're not coming back to who you were. That version of you, it dies today. Step 4, the warrior hour. Now we go physical, mental, spiritual. Set a 60-minute timer. This is your warrior hour. 20 minutes. Move your body, run, do push-ups, cold shower. Doesn't matter. Just push your limits. 20 minutes. Dump your mind. Write everything you're feeling. No filter, no structure. Let the chaos pour out. 20 minutes. Sit in silence. No phone, no music. Just breathe. Just exist. You do this and you'll feel something shift. Control, power, presence. Step 5, the 9 p.m. rule. At 9 p.m., stand in front of the mirror again. But this time, don't question. Just say this. Thank you for showing up. Not perfection, not progress, just presence. Because that's what most people never give themselves. A single day of showing up with full intensity. A day where you didn't run, didn't hide, didn't lie. You faced yourself. And that is rare. You're not broken. You're just buried, under comfort, under fear, under noise. But one day, one honest, focused, intense day can change the trajectory of your entire life. Not because you became someone new, but because you finally stopped pretending. If this hit you, don't just scroll, act, fix yourself today. And join my Telegram for daily mindset
join my Telegram for
Links are below.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. He throw it in there. I subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Let me save this video too. He said one day you don't need 3 years, 3 months, 6 minutes, none of that. You need one day, 24 hours. Put it in your life. That was good. Sorry to be so extra. That was actually really good. Oh man, yeah. All right, so let me dig this topic out one more time. Let's go back to the search on this one more time. Let's see if we can find one that's nice and short. We got about a good solid 5 minutes. If not, oh, there you go.
When I needed a master's degree that fit my life and my career goals, WGU was the perfect
I already like this
Their
video.
Online programs are designed for
So
busy professionals like me with career.
But we're gonna watch.
Good morning, John, and good morning to the class of 2017, and also all of the other classes and people who aren't in classes.
All right, cool. So let's get some quotes then. We're gonna leave out on the week with some quotes. Quotes for life. This will get y'all out and using y'all potential today and this weekend and next week. Come on, let's go, y'all. Let's get right.
Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Oh my gosh, hold on, wait. Y'all just sit with that real quick. Let me fix this box. That one was good though. Something is missing. I want to sit on my other screen, but everybody ain't gonna be able to see. All right, whatever, I'll fix it.
peace begins with a smile. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. Whatever you are, be a good one.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nothing is impossible. The word itself says impossible. Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm.
Exactly.
You must expect great things of yourself before you can do them.
Yes, sir.
Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will.
You know, you just gotta close your eyes and take it in, take some deep breaths, because these words are not coming from just out of thin air. These words are coming through lived experience. That's why it tastes as good as that your favorite meal, soul food.
We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Fortune sides with him who dares. %80 of success is showing up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you care about what you do and work hard at it, there isn't anything you can't do if you want to.
Right.
People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. Possessions, outward success, publicity, luxury. To me, these have always been contemptible. I believe that a simple and unassuming manner of life is best for everyone, best for both the body and the mind.
We're Phoenix Energy.
Look at that ad came in right on time. So we right at our last 10 minutes, y'all. So what we gonna do here is we gonna go ahead and wind on down. Now these quotes really hit home, and it brought it home. But let me put a conclusion in here for y'all. So I sit all day, and I think, and I think, and I think, and I think, and I think. And one of the thoughts that has constantly recurred to me is just whether my thinking is an action or it's a potential. And maybe here today y'all can help me decide, but that is a constant dilemma here. But what I've also realized is that within action and potential lies all the energy, all of it, every last bit of it. And you can create a system within that form of thinking that can propel you into ages and ages of fun, happiness, sadness, desire, passion, love, everything just between potential and action. It's like on and off, the one and the zero. So don't cry for me because I'm thinking and don't know if thinking is action and don't know what to do, but I did it. And don't cry for me because we are all there. That's my conclusion. I'm glad I hope that I sparked some of y'all action and hope y'all found some of your resting potential so that you can get out there and act back on it. I'm your host of Expansion Pack here today, Dan F. Man. This is DGTA TV. Aww. I'm going to leave y'all with some quotes as we go out. I'm going to let the quotes ride. Y'all go ahead and have a blessed weekend. I haven't said blessed in a long time, but hey, y'all have a blessed weekend. Y'all be great out there, and I'll see y'all again on Monday, Mindful Mondays. Peace. Leave y'all with these quotes.
Independent of public opinion is the first formal condition of achieving anything great.
People who are giving the therapy.
I want to do it because I want to do it. Women must try to do things as men have tried. When they fail, their failure must be but a challenge to others. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, for you'll be criticised anyway. It is impossible to escape the impression that people commonly use false standards of measurement, that they seek power, success, and wealth for themselves, and admire them in others, and that they underestimate what is of true value in life. Friendship is unnecessary. Like philosophy, like art, it has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things which give value to survival. Try not to become a man of success. Rather, become a man of value. I can't give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everybody, all the time. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. No man is free who is not master of himself. It is better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes. You will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength.
You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the one who will decide where to go. It's never too late to be what you might have been. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Failure is the condiment that gives success its flavor. Have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. The worst part of success is trying to find someone who is happy for you. Don't spend time beating on a wall hoping to transform it into a door. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me and I didn't have the heart to let him down. You've got to dance like there's nobody watching. Love like you'll never be hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening. And live like it's heaven on earth.
If you want to start a profitable business or make more money at your job, you already know that artificial intelligence is where it's at. There's so much money going into AI right now. The question is, how the heck do you do it? I mean, how do you really use AI to create new revenue streams, especially if you're not techie? So, do you want to know how to get real results? Look, I see all of those online ads too. It's always drop ship this or, oh, this is so easy. And I'm not going to insult your intelligence because business is never easy. I will, however, tell you.
Be the change that you wish to see in the world. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Without music, life would be a mistake. When you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others. Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. We are all failures. At least the best of us are. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack in will. I've come to believe that each of us has a personal calling that's as unique as a fingerprint, and that the best way to succeed is to discover what you love and then find a way to offer it to others in the form of a service, working hard, and also allowing the energy of the universe to lead you.